introducing multiple pieces of legislation and pursuing a possible overhaul of swim call in 2026. Minister of Public Utilities Barry Padarath says while there is no hard and fast proposal for the Solid Waste Management Company, it is before the Cabinet for discussion. He told TTT News that other legislation will be coming to ensure there are stricter environmental protection guidelines.
One piece of legislation that will be brought has to do with the beverage container bill, and that has its own impact in terms of the environmental impact that it will have. Also, you will have coming up shortly the styrofoam risk and reduction bill. That is going to be tabled in the Parliament as well.
He says while government is fleshing out what a new swim corp would look like, they will also be trying to create a culture change targeting waste management and recycling in Trinidad and Tobago.
But legislation alone will not work. You also have to have the enforcement, and therefore that is why when you alluded to how do we have swim call evolving, that agency, whatever it turns out to be, will be the legislative support to give enforcement.
Government Senator David Naked says the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Amendment Bill 2026 is grounded in three core principles: accountability, civility, and the value of life. Contributing to the debate in the upper house, Senator Naked accused the opposition of politicizing the proposed increase in traffic fines.
All your license is depleted because some moron, parliamentary language, some moron, driving no insurance and hit you, and your family end up with all kind of thing. They don't see the value of that. They'll come and give you all kind of thing. You're targeting the poor man. This is not about the poor man. Somebody get killed, that is not UNC or PNM. That is a human life lost to recklessness.
In some sport, head coach of the Trinidad and Tobago under-20 men's football team, Marvin Gordon, said that while he is pleased with TNT's 6-0 victory over St. Vincent and the Grenadines, there is still room for improvement. TNT is taking part in a series of friendly matches in their preparation for their CONCACAF Under-20 World Cup qualifiers set to begin on February 23rd.
I'm going to say 60% today. 60. You know, I think we still have 40% to go. I think I hold in this group to a high standard, you know, and I was pleased with the ball movement today at times, and then at times I wasn't pleased because I thought we move it a little slow at times and I want to play a little quicker, you know what I mean, to get in behind and create chances. So I say today was 60% really for me, and we still have 40 to go.
Gordon also confirmed that Darrell Garcia, captain on the night, will lead the team at the CONCACAF Under-20 World Cup qualifiers.
Darrell deserves it, you know, he make it debut for the national senior team. I think he deserves to lead this group. You know what I mean? Put the responsibility on his shoulders, let him work. And you see it tonight, you see the leadership quality. You want to play, you want to lead the group, you know, so I think he deserves it.
And that's what's making the news this morning. However, we are just around the corner from Trinidad and Tobago today, and in studio is Virmala Balkaran. Good morning, Virmala.
Good morning, Carrie. How are you?
I'm doing quite well this morning. I'm trying that thing you told me about doing water instead of coffee.
And how did that work out for you?
I'm actually feeling good.
Do you want to know what? I actually drank the coffee this morning.
Oh, so we switch roles. We switch roles today.
Carrie, I have a question for you. Do you have a green thumb?
Unfortunately, I have a brown thumb. Anything in a plant pot, I tend to kill it.
That is absolutely relatable. I can kill a cactus. Well, Carrie, in case you wanted a class, maybe we can join. The Ministry of Agriculture is rolling out 35 training courses in 2026. So there's some hope for us.
I think I may need 2 courses.
Well, we chat about that and so much more. And we're also joined by the Defense Minister, Wayne Sturge, inside the show today, talking about the national security issues impacting Trinidad and Tobago inside TNT Today.
All right, looking forward to all of that. Thank you so much, Virmala.
You're welcome.
When we come back, Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show gets going after this break.
Hello from the capital, deep down in the heart of the Carnival. There's no better place, I cannot erase all these memories we create on the love. Hello from the capital, yes, we will bring light to the bacchanal. Let me show you the reason
Your stories, your communities, your country. TTT News is everywhere, on the ground, across Trinidad and Tobago, and on every smart device. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
We culture, we stories, we movies. This Saturday on TTT, it's our voices, our lives on our screens. At 8:35 p.m., Trinidad Remains takes you on a rough journey home. Family tension, hard truths, and a road trip that doesn't go as planned. Then at 8:50 p.m., Bazadi turns up the heat. Love, desire, and carnival energy colliding like a slow wine when the rhythm hits just right. These aren't borrowed stories. This is our culture, our experiences. Trinidad Remains 8:35 p.m. and Bazadi 8:50 p.m. this Saturday on TTT. We culture, we stories, we movies. Only on TTT.
Tune in for CZIT's National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz. Brought to you by Fruta.
Carnival is more than a season. It's who we are. It's rhythm, color, history, and pure vibes from start to finish. And this Carnival, TTT, in partnership with the National Carnival Commission, is bringing you all the major moments live and full of energy. We kick things off with the youths of Steel at Junior Panorama. Then it's Pan Power all the way at Panorama, where the music hits hard and the passion runs dry. Celebrate the future of Calypso at the Junior Calypso Monarch and witness the lyrical mastery at Calypso Fiesta. Then step back into history with the reenactment of the Cambile riots. Don't miss the creativity and spectacle of the kings and queens of Carnival. And be sure to stay tuned as we turn it all the way up for Dimash Gras. Pure performance, pure pageantry, pure carnival magic. Then follow the heartbeat of the nation with the parade of the bands on Carnival Monday and Tuesday, when the streets come alive with color, rhythm, and freedom. Live broadcasts, special shows, all the vibes. This Carnival season, don't just watch it, feel it, live it, experience it, right here on TTT.
Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. The time now, 6:09 a.m. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Virmala Balkaran. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. Taking a look at what's trending this morning, well, we're starting off with some important news from the energy sector. The national gas company NGC has just signed a new gas supply agreement with AOG Resources Trinidad. And in simple terms, this means that they've secured a deal to make sure that TNT has a more stable supply of natural gas for local use. Now, why is this important, you might ask? Well, simply put, gas is a major part of our economy. It powers industries, helps to keep your businesses running, and it supports thousands of jobs. According to the NGC chairman, Gerald Ramdeen, this agreement is all about guaranteeing a steady and reliable gas supply for the domestic market. Meaning for us, right here at home, right? So he explained that this deal comes right after the NGC acquired a major onshore compressor asset, which helps move gas through the system more efficiently. So basically, they're strengthening both the supply and the infrastructure, making sure that gas can actually reach where it needs to go, right? So Ramdeed also pointed out that in the past, some projects focused more on exporting gas, leaving very little for the local market. He even referenced the BPTT SIP project, which produces massive amounts of gas, but none of it was guaranteed for local use. This new agreement, however, signals a shift in policy, ensuring that future gas projects must include a fair portion for domestic consumption. Thus, overall, this deal means more energy, security, more stability for businesses, and potentially more economic confidence going forward. And moving on, Trinidad and Tobago Met Service could soon be getting new radar technology, which is great news for our weather forecasting. This was announced by Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarath, who says the government is working closely with the Caribbean Met Organization to make sure our forecasters have access to modern tools. Now, what does that mean for us? Well, better radar technologies can lead to more accurate weather predictions, improved storm tracking, and even better disaster preparedness, especially important during the hurricane season. It also strengthens regional cooperation and makes sure that Caribbean meteorologists are better equipped to protect lives and property. So whether it's heavy rainfall, flooding, or tropical systems, this upgrade could mean earlier warnings and better information for the public. And finally, some positive news now for the agriculture sector. Agriculture Minister Ravi Ratiram has announced plans to roll out 35 training courses in 2026, with an estimated 20,000 people expected to participate across all 8 counties in TNT. Now, these courses will cover a wide range of topics, from basic land preparation and crop cultivation to hydroponics, greenhouse farming, aquaculture, livestock development, and climate-resilient farming. In simple terms, I think we're looking forward to modernizing agriculture and giving people the skills they need to farm smarter and not harder. The minister says all training programs will now fall under one umbrella initiative, which makes it easier for citizens to access opportunities and, yes, develop their skills. He also highlighted that this push will help to reduce our food import bill and boost local production. So just like Carrie, if you've ever thought about getting into farming or improving your skills, this could be a chance. Now, coming up inside the show today, you don't want to miss Defense Minister Wayne Sturge as we discuss matters of national security impacting Trinidad and Tobago. Also, we talk a little bit about virtual reality, the 63rd celebration of the Elysee Treaty, and of course, lots more on Carnival 2026 when we come back on TNT Today.
Attention viewers in Trinidad and Tobago. The Truth of God now airs on the TTT network every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. You won't want to miss the dynamic preaching and teaching of Pastor Jennings as he speaks from God's Holy Bible.
Believe what God says.
The Truth of God, every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on Trinidad and Tobago television. You can also watch The Truth of God 24/7 at thetog.tv.
Tune in for CZIT's National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz, brought to you by Fruta.
your mother. She want me buy a bread for she. Oh, oh.
A big scene.
Every carnival, and it's that.
It's a different kind of
vibe. The girl them a wine and bubble all night in a different kind of style. That is it. The girl them a wine and bubble all night. Oh me, oh my.
Your news, anytime, anywhere. TTT News brings you the facts that matter most, on air and online. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Well, today we're diving into how virtual reality is transforming education in the Caribbean, especially in the field of science. Joining us in studio this morning is Donna Hitlal, a researcher from the Department of Chemistry at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine. Now, Donna recently co-authored a groundbreaking study, which I read last night, by the way, published in the Journal of Chemical Education, examining how 3D immersive virtual reality, or VR, can boost motivation and performance among first-year chemistry students. Donna, your research explores how technology can reshape the way STEM subjects are taught across our region. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, Donna.
Thank you for having me.
I know you must be very, very busy.
A bit, but never too busy to talk about this work.
And also congratulations on that article. I read it. It was absolutely amazing. You co-authored it, right?
Much. Yes.
Who are your other authors?
Dr. Denise Beckles. She's a senior lecturer at the University of the West Indies Chemistry Department. She was also my doctoral thesis supervisor.
Oh, wow.
And Dr. Diane Thorab-Nkosi. She is the head of quality assurance up at UE, but she's education royalty in the region. In the world.
It must have been such an honor to work with these.
It is. I felt like a hobbit among ants. They were giants in this.
So, Donna, for viewers who, don't know your work, can you tell us what you do and what drew you to chemistry education?
Okay, so I come from the Department of Chemistry at the University of the West Indies in the Faculty of Science and Technology. And I had the pleasure of working with these ladies on this thesis, my doctoral thesis. So I'm a newly minted PhD. And chemistry education, the overarching purpose of any project, including mine, is to teach chemistry more effectively and more efficiently for students. Because chemistry has a really bad reputation for being a difficult subject. And much of that difficulty comes from the abstract nature of chemistry. You're talking about atoms and molecules and their interactions. And these are things that people cannot see, even with the strongest microscope. So you as an educator, you have to teach it based on theories and symbols and models. And this is difficult for students because the spatial ability of students varies greatly from student to student.
So, Donna, I'm slightly obsessed with virtual reality, but that's just on a layman level. But your research looks at using immersive virtual reality in teaching chemistry.
Yes.
What does that actually look like in the classroom?
Okay, so the immersive virtual reality it ranges, but the one I use is with a headset. It is with, of course the gold standard would have been an Oculus, but of course that is super expensive. So there are other versions now on the market. This particular one was like an adapter, and you place a smartphone that has the software on it, the virtual reality software on it, and you put it into the headset, and then the student can use that and interact with it based on Bluetooth with a joystick. and basically navigate right through the application.
That sounds really cool.
It was.
Donna, what changes did you observe in your students when you introduced these technologies?
Well, I was so encouraged, and the entire department really was very encouraged because all of the students, their motivation levels, their interest levels, and their performance, the test group information, test group data, they all outperformed the control group. So the difference between the two groups was that the test group and the control group, both of them went to their scheduled lectures, their tutorials, everything that would be offered normally in the department. But the test group got 9 weeks with a virtual reality headset that had the software on it. And they were not given guidance as to how to use it. Well, they were told how to use it.
Okay.
But when to use it, how much to use it, they were not told that at all. And
so you left it up to them?
Left it up to them, because at the end of the day, these are not, most of these students are adults. Okay. You know, you don't have to guide them and prod them like you would, you know, younger children. So they use it at their own pace and so. And after the 9 weeks, you know, collected the data and you compared, they outshone the control group.
Wow. So it really was helpful.
It really was.
Donna, why is this kind of innovation especially important for students of Trinidad and Tobago?
Last year I had the pleasure of presenting my work in Canada at the Chemical Society there. I was invited, I spoke, it was an oral presentation. And one thing I've noticed at all of these conferences, Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean are not well represented in these spaces. The faces are very monochromatic. We don't have our voices there. Now, they care about us. They are very much into diversity and inclusion and so, but we need to be there. And a big part of that is because our students do not continue on to postgrad and then to innovate and invent.
Donna, you've also spoken a lot about motivation and interest in chemistry. Why are those just as important as the exam results?
Keeping a student motivated and interested in chemistry, in STEM, and other subjects as well is very, very important, because sitting an exam, yes, you need the certification, you need the CSEC, and you need the CAPE, and you need the undergrad and so. But what keeps a student moving forward and basically remaining with that subject as a career is that interest and that motivation. And when you motivate them, they tend to run down the information. They tend to immerse themselves, no pun intended, into the information, and it becomes theirs. And it's important to build the intellectual capacity of our STEM people in the Caribbean.
So, Donna, how can approaches like yours help more young people, especially girls and first generation students, see themselves as scientists?
First generation students are particularly, they're close to my heart. And it is because I have found, and was interested in my research, that at the university level in chemistry, 50% of the students who came in undergrad, it's only 50% of their parents did tertiary level education, and less than 5% did anything related to chemistry. So these students, they need support, and virtual reality tends to level the playing field. So gender, learning styles or preferences now, it doesn't matter where they come from, because they are able to visualize better, they perform better.
What's your long-term vision for chemistry education and STEM development in the Caribbean, Donna?
Well, I'm happy you asked, because I always tell people my goal is chemistry domination. I want everybody to know, from the housewife to the executive, chemistry controls our life on this planet. And we need people in our region, people with our lived and shared experiences, to be able to take care of our problems. Now, we are a small island developing state. We have climate change as one of the major concerns, food security, pharmaceuticals, medication, and water management. And this is where chemistry is. So my hope for the future is that we don't have to import talent. And we will have enough to cover us, and we will even get to export.
A final question for you. What would you like parents, teachers, or even policymakers watching this morning on TNT Today to take away from your work?
Chemistry and STEM does not have to stay in the classroom anymore. This group of students that I had, Gen Z, I'm from Gen X, so we like to act like we are the best. I mean, we are. But these students are unique. They are digital natives. They are ready to learn if you teach them in the way that they can learn. Meet them where they are at. And with this technology, we can be everywhere all at once.
Yeah, I found that, we were having a discussion this morning off air about, how things have changed and how progressive students are now and their brains are just in a very different space. Any final words before we wrap up, Donna?
I encourage all first-gen students to push forward, go as far as you can, as fast as you can. And there is a place for you at the University of the West Indies. We have many programs. So come on.
Thank you so much, Donna Hitlal, researcher at the Department of Chemistry at UWI St. Augustine. When we come back, we've got so much more inside Trinidad and Tobago today on TTT.
Watch the passion building and the voices roaring with the mission done and the game is won. With the music talking and the big stage calling, the culture comes alive and it's just endless vibes. The future's bright, we'll be more bright. Now it's sweet time, the time to shine. Life is on, it's no time to be timid. So chase the dreams, live without limit. On with Be Mobile.
Carnival is more than a season. It's who we are. It's rhythm, color, history, and pure vibes from start to finish. And this Carnival, TTT, in partnership with the National Carnival Commission, is bringing you all the major moments live and full of energy. We kick things off with the youths of Steel at Junior Panorama. Then it's Pan Power all the way at Panorama, where the music hits hard and the passion runs dry. Celebrate the future of Calypso at the Junior Calypso Monarch and witness the lyrical mastery at Calypso Fiesta. Then step back into history with the reenactment of the Cambile riots. Don't miss the creativity and spectacle of the kings and queens of Carnival. And be sure to stay tuned as we turn it all the way up for Dimash Gras. Pure performance, pure pageantry, pure Carnival magic. Then follow the heartbeat of the nation with the parade of the bands on Carnival Monday and Tuesday, when the streets come alive with color, rhythm, and freedom. Live broadcasts, special shows, all the vibes. This Carnival season, don't just watch it, feel it, live it, experience it, right here on TTT.
Your world moves fast, so do we. TTT News brings you the people, events, and issues that matter most. Stay informed, stay ahead. TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Evolves, so does our music. And one man making sure the new voices are heard is radio personality and artist Jaiga. Jaiga is the visionary behind Next 10, a talent search platform created to spotlight emerging soca artists and give them real opportunities to perform. This initiative is about building the next generation of soca stars and keeping our culture alive. Jaiga, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Top of the morning,
It's
everyone.
been a while.
Yeah, it's been.
So Jaiga, what inspired you to create Next 10 and focus on developing the upcoming soca artists in Trinidad and Tobago?
If I'm being totally honest, it started by me, going through a little anxiety in school and social media, and I bounced up a young DJ, not taking anything away from him. He had a beautiful room, nice equipment, and he made a statement saying, these are the top 10 songs of Trinidad Carnival 2026. And this was on the 7th of November.
Right.
So I was like, a little too early to say that. And me being anything a long time, I say, I'm sure I can find the next 10 songs. And that was my thinking. Went on my machine downstairs, because I still have all my stuff, started to look. And my email alone had over 200 and something songs.
Wow.
So I just randomly picked 10, and I said, okay, I can find the next 10. I didn't like the word top 10. I just said I can find the next 10 songs that is equally as great. So I did that, and I put it up on my social media. And in 4 days' time, I saw a spike. I'm not a big social media person, but I saw the numbers. I went from like 30-something thousand views to like 250,000 in the first 4 days. And I remember Chromatics messaging me and saying, yo, that's real cool. I wish I could just put up 10 unknown names, like people who nobody knows. So I said, okay, cool, bet. So I did that. And in 16 days, we jumped to like about 800,000. So that's when I realized, okay, the numbers are saying something. So I decided, and me coming from that background, like with Soca Star, and just to fix something, it's not me looking for like talent. I'm really, the focus on it is people who've been doing work and feel as though they're not getting enough airplay or they're not getting enough opportunity. So on my platform, me being who I am, I just put it out there. And I did the first 3 episodes and I saw the numbers move. And with that, I decided, okay, cool, let me just streamline it a little bit. So I stopped posting for like 4 days and went back on, and I said, all right, I'm going to do a series. So for the next couple of weeks, so between the 8th of November until the 16th of December, I saw some big numbers. So I hit the 1 million mark pretty soon. And by then I said, well, all right, cool. Let me look at it a little differently. So overall, I ended with 110 songs that I featured on an open iTunes, because I have open iTunes. So that way, when you see the little sneak peek on my thing, you can go click on a link and you can hear the song in its entirety. So I said, there's an opportunity for the artists to get some streams. So that was the first, and while doing that, I said, listen, I want to shift it a little bit. So I decided to go film a showcase. So I took 15 of the songs and I funded a beautiful showcase. That's what's trending now. Everybody's seeing is like something like a broiler room. So all the artists with their friends and themselves, I recorded them singing their song, and that one over spike. And I want to thank Star came on board to partner with that. So now it's officially the Stag Stage Next 10.
Yeah. This is really investing in the youth. And why do you think it's so important to invest in the young talent at this stage in their careers?
For many different reasons. Succession is very important to me. I always feel as though you need to know exactly what's coming after. That's one. And two, I believe it's a real nice distraction, and a clean and clear distraction. Like back in the days with Soca Star, I used to enjoy seeing young people being excited for summertime to come around. That's when we started doing all the auditions. They were excited for September, October. There's something to look forward to. For quite some while, it was nothing to really look forward to. And then now you hear all the complaints about there are young people doing music, they're not getting played, they're doing this, and not enough for this. So it's just like they need platforms to showcase. So it's no problem in me just providing one that is presented properly in terms of quality. It's a lot of time and effort went into making it look good, most importantly. So when I package them, they look amazing. So that's one of the focus.
So speaking of platforms, putting them on major stages, this can be extremely huge for a young artist, and this can change their life and this can change the trajectory of their lives as a soca artist.
For sure.
Tell us about that platform, about the stages that you'll give them the opportunity to be on.
As it happened, things happen quickly sometimes. When things are good, it happens quickly. For this, as I said, it started on the 8th of November, and by the time the video started rolling out, the calls started rolling in. So what happened was now they went from not having anybody know them, not even thinking about doing a show, to having shows. So fortunately for a lot of them, out of the 15, I can say about 9 are heavily rotated now and actually working. Just last night I saw one, I went to see them at the Flavor. So it was nice to rock back in the audience and see that they're doing something and they're doing what they enjoy. So that part of it, to answer that question, yes, there's a lot of opportunity coming out of the showcase.
Jago, we've worked together for quite a few years, and I've always heard you echo the sentiments. You know, we want to keep the art form alive. You always talk about the art form. Great is the art form. What more do you think should be done to ensure that we keep the art form alive?
Again, like some simple things, you know. Like for the mainstream artists, I just continue to encourage them that it takes absolutely nothing from you to just look back and tell somebody good job, or tell somebody, I like what they're doing, continue doing. Words of encouragement. Words of encouragement is very important for this. People feel as though it doesn't necessarily have to be monetary, especially in the days of social media. It's very cheap and free for you to go under somebody's post and say, yo, I like that. Send them a little emoji, a little heart, a little flame, anything to give them the encouragement. I think more than anything else, the encouragement is most important.
Yeah, I agree. Jago, finally, before we wrap, what advice do you have for young soca artists trying to make it in the industry? I mean, sometimes they face a lot of challenges and they may get a little bit despondent, but what would you say to them as someone who's been through it, you're seasoned, and you're building the new generations to come?
That's to stay focused, continue being new. You understand? And work is important. And don't think like some people feel that nobody's looking at you. Always feel somebody's watching. Continue the way you're doing. It's guided by passion. Passion first. But outside of the music too, you also have to continue educating yourself about everything around the music. What's very important, a lot of these young people don't really know how to articulate themselves. If you ask them why you want to be a soca star, they don't even know. So think about those things as well as wanting to perform. Don't put carriage before horse. Some of them want to be on top stage before you even get a good song. So you need to work on your craft too, and you understand consistency always wins, because the byproduct of consistency will naturally be success.
Be clear about your intentions, and you know, and gratitude is also very important as well. Well, thank you, Jago, and congratulations on Next 10. What an amazing initiative. We wish you all the best, and we hope we have you on the show again. And have a great Carnival season.
Always. Cheers.
All right. Well, when we come back, we've got another great one for you. We're talking about the Elysee Treaty and more on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Carnival. There's no better place, I cannot erase all these memories we create out of love. Hello from the capital. Yes, we will bring life to the bacchanal. Let me show you the reason we feel it for this kind of feel. Down in the capital now. Hey, hey, hey. Pick up the foot and stamp it on the ground. Hey, hey, hey. Pick up the rag and wave it all around. Hey, hey, hey. All the girls them wine and drop it down. Hey, hey, hey. So show me everything up in the air, up in the air, up in the air, up in the air. Spin it around in the air, up in the air.
Bring your team, bring your flags, bring your vibes. Next 99.1 FM is taking over the Savannah. Sunday 1st February, we are bringing the energy for Jam Iron on the greens. This one you don't want to miss, and it's all inclusive. So secure your packages early. Get yours today on islandetickets.com. Lock in your spot and lock in your team. Next 99.1 FM, the next level of radio.
Cause I really feel a vibe every time we set the right down. And nobody like this, man, it's nothing like this, and it's nothing like you. Nothing and nobody like you. And every single time we touch, no one ever wanna stop, because I always wanna let you know that I love you so much, it's nobody like you. Nothing and nobody like you. Make me ball out, whoa. Say whoa, oh, 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 oh. Long time this I overdue. Long time this I overdue. Make me ball out, whoa, oh, 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 oh. Long time this I overdue. Long time this I overdue.
one of the things that I like about pediatrics is that it's never just about the child, it's also about family, extracurricular activities, sports, school, all of those things we get involved in. I think one of the nice things is also that it's about empowering families or giving them the knowledge that they need. It's actually about forming a community of people who support each other. We're in this parenting journey together.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical on TTT this Wednesday at 6:20 p.m.
Carnival is more than a season. It's who we are. It's rhythm, color, history, and pure vibes from start to finish. And this Carnival TTT, in partnership with the National Carnival Commission, is bringing you all the major moments live and full of energy. We kick things off with the youths of Steel at Junior Panorama. Then it's Pan Power all the way at Panorama, where the music hits hard and the passion runs dry. Celebrate the future of Calypso at the Junior Calypso Monarch and witness the lyrical mastery at Calypso Fiesta. Then step back into history with the reenactment of the Cambile riots. Don't miss the creativity and spectacle of the kings and queens of Carnival. And be sure to stay tuned as we turn it all the way up for the March Gras. Pure performance, pure pageantry, pure Carnival magic. Then follow the heartbeat of the nation with the parade of the bands on Carnival Monday and Tuesday, when the streets come alive with color, rhythm, and freedom. Live broadcasts, special shows, all the vibes. This Carnival season, don't just watch it, feel it, live it, experience it, right here on TTT.
More news, more access, more ways to stay informed. TTT News covers the stories that matter on air and online. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Tune in for CZIT's National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz, brought to you by Fruta.
We're honored this morning to be joined by two distinguished diplomats ahead of a very special cultural event taking place later on this week, actually tomorrow. The embassies of France and Germany are hosting a free classical music concert at Napa on Thursday, January 22nd. That's tomorrow at 6:30 p.m., featuring the National Philharmonic Orchestra of Trinidad and Tobago. The concert commemorates the 63rd anniversary of the signing of the Élysée Treaty, a historic agreement symbolizing reconciliation and friendship between France and Germany. Joining us now on TNT Today are His Excellency Dr. Christoph Eick, German Ambassador Designate to Trinidad and Tobago, and His Excellency Guillaume Pierre, French Ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
It is so good to have you here with us on such an honor.
Good morning.
All right, so this concert commemorates the 63rd anniversary of the Élysée Treaty, which really marked a turning point for Franco-German relations. Can you briefly explain what is the treaty and what it hoped to achieve, and why is it still considered one of Europe's most important diplomatic agreements?
Well, as you said, the treaty was concluded 63 years ago, and that was not very long after the Second World War. And as you know, the Second World War was a terrible time for both our countries, for Europe, for the world, and it was brought about by Germany. And one of our neighbors that was attacked, was France. So we've had a long history, a difficult relationship, but also a relationship that has its ups and downs. And in 1963, two statesmen, French President Charles de Gaulle and German Chancellor Konrad Adenauer, took this historic step of reconciliation between the two countries. And that just really worked very well because institutions were created and mechanisms to keep this reconciliation alive, and it has merged into friendship and really the birth of a united Europe.
So since signing the treaty in 1963, what are some of the most significant successes that have come out of the Franco-German partnership over the decades?
Well, you know, we refer to France and Germany as the engine of Europe, the motor, and our two countries have really been instrumental, working hard to have Europe go forward. So I think together, the big achievement is this European Union and the project of working together, stop the fightings that had been going on for decades on our continent, and really work together. So this is really the main achievement. And then on the bilateral, I mean, we really work together very closely. At all levels, we have programs for university, and now you have many French students in Germany, and reciprocally. Many French people learn German, many Germans learn French. And we have numerous programs in all fields to make sure that our two countries don't want to fight anymore, but want to work together, and that's what we do. And this concert tomorrow shows you once more, you know, this capacity that we have built together for now 63 years to not be competitors, but friends, partners, and working on good projects together.
63 years. Now, this is the 4th edition of the free classical concert in Napa, right? Why was it important for both embassies to continue hosting this event, especially, well, annually here in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, we have been hosting this event, and you're right, it's the 4th time. It has become a kind of a tradition now, you know, shortly before Carnival, to have this free concert. And we have done it with the National Philharmonic Orchestra of Trinidad and Tobago. So one of the aims is really to showcase what you have here in this country, which is a wonderful orchestra, the National Philharmonic Orchestra, and they play lovely music. And we feature French and German or German-speaking composers, but we always have some composers from the region. Which is something that is also great for Trinidad and Tobago, because you can experience not only European composers, but composers that come from the region.
Oh, that's actually beautiful. So the choice of classical entertainment, can we talk about that for the event?
Well, I mean, Trinidad and Tobago, everybody knows, is a powerhouse in terms of music. It's a major country in terms of composers, performers, and the quality of music, and specifically in this moment of Carnival. And I think Christophe and I are really enjoying very much nowadays, you know, going to the Panyard, listening to the Calypso, the Soca, and so on. But it's also, when you have a country like this, which is so much, you know, focused on music, it's also very important to showcase all the kinds of music, and classical music obviously is very important. Trinidad, I think, is the only country in the region to have a National Philharmonic Orchestra, which is a very big asset. They play incredibly good music. And so it's an opportunity at a moment where music is everywhere, also to show something different and to allow people to listen to different music. As Christophe, my colleague, just said, you know, we feature German classical music. People like, there'll be a bit of Mozart, for example. Big French classical music, Maurice Ravel, and also music from the Caribbean. There are great composers from the Caribbean, and so this concert, in a moment where there is so much music in the country, also is the opportunity to show what the National Philharmonic Orchestra does, and the big variety of classical music in the world.
What are you looking forward to most about the concert tomorrow at Napa?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing many people, to have really Trinidad and Tobago come out and witness this wonderful concert. And there are always, you know, lovely talks and discussions before and after the show. And then, of course, the performance itself, having the National Philharmonic Orchestra under Dr. Henry, the head of the orchestra, perform, you know, young musicians, great instruments, and I'm looking forward very much to the composers from the region, from Haiti or from Guadeloupe, whose work is going to be featured.
And you, Mr. Pierre?
Yeah, also a moment of sharing, between us and with Trinidad and Tobago. We are just in front of the savannah in Napa. There is a lot going on in the savannah, but Napa is also a place where there is big events. Since I've been here 4 months, I've already been 3 times to see beautiful concerts, and very, very happy to have this moment of, again, classical music, you know, big classical music, which is exceptional. And most of the islands in the Caribbean wouldn't have the capacity to propose this, you know, because they don't have this philharmonic orchestra that Trinidad has, which is a great asset. And I think it's very nice that also this kind of music can be played.
Well, finally, as ambassadors, what message do you hope that this initiative and this celebration sends about unity, diplomacy, cultural exchange, especially in today's world?
Well, cultural exchange is really one way of conducting diplomacy, really, and bringing people together in times that are challenging for all of us. And give you, you know, a moment of breathing, of reflection, of you know, hands extended, so that we can, you know, we can start from there and look forward to a brighter future.
Mr. Pierre?
Well, you said it, you know, unity, diplomacy. I mean, this concert, because it's done together, shows that 2 countries who had been fighting in the past can now work together and build things positive, constructive for people, for the youth, and for the development of our countries. I think in the world today, which is with many challenges and that can appear sometimes a bit brutal, showing that 2 countries which has had you know, a history of fights now are building a history of cooperation is a good example. So obviously it's a message that we are sending, but very simply also the message that bringing people together to listen to great music, a great cultural moment, is not complicated, and it brings a lot of, you know, happiness to everybody. And I think in Trinidad people are very good at that, building happiness together. So happy to share this moment with everybody tomorrow.
Happiness all around, and it's a great celebration, the 63rd anniversary of the LAZ Treaty. Well, thank you so much, His Excellencies Dr. Christophe Ike and Guillaume Pierre, for joining us this morning on Trinidad and Tobago Today. Well, I did a bit of it last week, and I think I was really good. Many of you will agree. For decades, wire bending has been at the heart of traditional mask making. The leader of the pan mask tradition, Fancy Sailors, Michael Douglas, described the craft as a journey of trial, danger, and innovation. We focus on wire bending and how the art continues to evolve with Daniel John.
My journey, as you must say, into wire bending was wanting to play mass as a young fella, wanting to play mass and wanting to use, in those days we didn't have backpack, everything was carrying up here on the head and stuff like that, and having no collateral to pay anybody to bend anything for me.
Leader of Pan Mass tradition, Fancy Sailors, Michael Douglas's journey into wire bending started at an early age as an experiment.
Total disaster on the road, with the ladies and them with their backpack or whatever, collapsing. You know what I mean? Threatening to fight, threatening to damage here and all kind of thing because this and that and the other.
He said working with heavy gauge wire came with serious risks, which he admitted caused him to develop a hatred for the art. Now at 80 years old, he has become a master of the craft, crediting perseverance for his skill.
And I am very happy to say that I know that I am one of the best wire benders that have around, but wire is my life. I love to bend wire. I love to bend. I like to create stuff out of wire. You know, and anything is easy for me to do.
Mr. Douglas shared how the techniques have changed over time.
You're going through different phases from wire on wire, you understand, to shoemaker, twine and wax, to tape, to tie strap. And some people, if they want to keep it together, especially because we're using a lot of aluminum now, aluminum tubing, aluminum squares, and stuff like that. Right now, one of these coats in my building here are using tape and tie strap. And aluminum wire. Aluminum wire, easier to bend. Easier to get the shape you want to because it's softer.
Queen of the band for the past 7 years, Janice Linda Richards, shared her experience leading and carrying the many costumes designed and intricately bent by a true wire-bending master.
I really enjoy carrying the costumes. Yes, and I'm being honest with you, I consider it, and we consider these things to be holy. You know? So we trust that we are given the strength, that supernatural strength, to do everything concerning Carnival and the production of mass, because it takes real strength and perseverance to be able to go through this process.
I am Daniel John for We Focus on TTT News.
Thank you, Daniel John. Follow us for these stories and more on TTT Live Online. Have a story idea, a press release, or you want to collaborate with us? We'd love to hear from you. Contact us today at tttoday@ttt.co.tt and be part of the conversation shaping our nation. Trinidad and Tobago Today, news you can trust, stories that matter. Also catch our sister station Next 99.1 FM as they roll into a community near you with Pure Carnival Energy. Bare Feeling Sports Bar, they're coming Thursday 22nd at 7 p.m. Southern Main Road, Macbean, Couva. Get ready for 100% soca vibes and dominance. And guess what? It's not the last train. The very next day, they roll straight into Merriman Mayaro for another massive showdown of vibes and carnival madness. The best part? It's absolutely free, plus drink specials on Forest Park all night long. So grab your crew, your flag, and go team. Go with 99.1 FM. Want more details? Go follow them at Next 99.1. So much more when we come back inside TNT today. We've got the Defense Minister, Wayne Sturge, queued up for us. So that's something you don't want to miss.
Next 99.1 FM, Soca Dominion, where Soca lives.
Give me a chance to wine on you, so I can win with you, and I can jam with you. Give me another chance so I
Carnival is more than a season. It's who we are. It's rhythm, color, history, and pure vibes from start to finish. And this Carnival, TTT, in partnership with the National Carnival Commission, is bringing you all the major moments, live and full of energy. We kick things off with the youths of Steel at Junior Panorama. Then it's Pan Power all the way at Panorama, where the music hits hard and the passion runs dry. Celebrate the future of Calypso at the Junior Calypso Monarch and witness the lyrical mastery at Calypso Fiesta. Then step back into history with the reenactment of the Cambile riots. Don't miss the creativity and spectacle of the kings and queens of Carnival. And be sure to stay tuned as we turn it all the way up for Dimash Gras, pure performance, pure pageantry, pure carnival magic. Then follow the heartbeat of the nation with the parade of the bands on Carnival Monday and Tuesday, when the streets come alive with color, rhythm, and freedom. Live broadcasts, special shows, all the vibes. This Carnival season, don't just watch it, feel it, live it, experience it, right here on TTT.
Tune in for CZIT's National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz, brought to you by Fruta.
Your world moves fast, so do we. TTT News brings you the people, events, and issues that matter most. Stay informed, stay ahead. TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Good morning. This is your TTT News update at 7. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. Government Senator Brian Baig says the increase in road traffic fines is aimed at saving lives, not punishing motorists. Contributing to Tuesday's Upper House debate, he said the move is intended to promote responsible driving. Senator Brian Baig said Trinidad and Tobago must face the reality that reckless driving has become a major problem on the nation's roads.
Just Friday gone, last week Friday, there was a major accident on the highway from in front of courts there, Megastore. Many cars was involved in that accident, and all because of one reckless driver.
Senator Baig said he therefore fully supports the government's decision to increase the road traffic fines. He said this move will also encourage drivers to be more responsible.
How could you drive without a license? We must understand that a motor vehicle is not a toy, you know. A motor vehicle is a serious instrument that you use on the roadways. Is that something you go and buy in Toy Hill, you know? And we must understand that.
During his contribution to the debate, Opposition Senator Dr. Amory Brown criticized the fixed penalty warning system, saying that 3 business days is an unreasonable time frame to remedy vehicular defects. Senator Baig, however, opposed the claims, saying the opposition would find fault with any measure. He added that the issues raised could be addressed and fixed promptly. Independent Senator Dr. Desiree Murray has expressed her full support for the amendments to the Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Bill, stressing that defective vehicles pose a serious risk to public safety. Contributing to the debate, she noted that mechanical failures are often a factor in fatal accidents, and said the proposed changes would help strengthen vehicle safety standards and reduce the likelihood of such tragedies on the nation's roads.
The defects listed are not abstract or arbitrary. They are common and recognizable everyday issues that directly affect visibility, control, and the safety of others on the road. For example, the absence of headlamps, tail lights or park lights, a defective windscreen wiper, or the lack of a reflecting mirror are matters that can significantly increase the risk of an accident, especially at night or in bad weather.
Dr. Murray, however, disagreed with the time frame in which motorists are given to remedy their defects. She said 3 to 7 business days is a relatively short window and suggests 21 business days for minor defects and 42 business days for major defects. The Ministry of Education Secondary Schools Badminton Association served off the finals of its 2025-2026 National Secondary Schools Badminton Competition on Tuesday at the South Regional Indoor Sporting Arena in Pleasantville. Minister of Education Dr. Michael Dowlath officially opened the tournament, marking the start of 4 days of intense competition. Following Tuesday's opening, the remaining 3 days of competition will shift to the National Racquet Center in Tacarigua on January 21st, 28th, and 29th. The nation's top school badminton athletes will battle for national titles across the competition.
What you're doing is very meaningful. You're part of developing not just yourself, but your colleagues. Because sports builds character. Sport is about discipline. If you don't reach on time, you get left out. So you learn time management. Sports is about community. You learn about teamwork. You learn about the strengths and weaknesses of yourself and your teammates, especially when you have to play those doubles. You know what the strength of your partner is, you know what their weaknesses are. And so you learn to care, you learn to be more supportive. You learn what is called emotional intelligence. You become a better human being by playing sports.
And that was your TTT News Update. I am Carrie Roberts. We now return to Trinidad and Tobago Today after this break.
Struggling with heart health or frequent migraines? Discover the simple steps to reclaim your energy and vitality.
We're diving into a topic that affects about 422 million people around the world: diabetes.
Tune into Wellness Unlocked, the series that delivers expert advice, practical tips, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your health and well-being. Your health matters. Don't miss Wellness Unlocked. Watch now on TTT and take the first step toward better health.
Bring your team, bring your flags, bring your vibes. Next 99.1 FM is taking over the savannah. Sunday 1st February, we are bringing the energy for Jam Iron on the greens. This one you don't want to miss, and it's all inclusive. So secure your packages early. Get yours today on islandetickets.com. Lock in your spot and lock in your team. Next 99.1 FM, the next level of radio.
We culture, we stories, we movies. This Saturday on TTT, it's our voices, our lives on our screens. At 8:35 p.m., Trinidad Remains takes you on a rough journey home. Family tension, hard truths, and a road trip that doesn't go as planned. Then at 8:50 p.m., Basity turns up the heat. Love, desire, and carnival energy colliding like a slow wine when the rhythm hits just right. These aren't borrowed stories. This is our culture, our experiences. Trinidad Remains 8:35 p.m. and Basity 8:50 p.m. this Saturday on TTT. We culture, we stories, we movies. Only on TTT.
Carnival is more than a season. It's who we are. It's rhythm, color, history, and pure vibes from start to finish. And this Carnival, TTT, in partnership with the National Carnival Commission, is bringing you all the major moments live and full of energy. We kick things off with the youths of Steel at Junior Panorama. Then it's Pan, Power, all the way at Panorama, where the music hits hard and the passion runs dry. Celebrate the future of Calypso at the Junior Calypso Monarch and witness the lyrical mastery at Calypso Fiesta. Then step back into history with the reenactment of the Cambile riots. Don't miss the creativity and spectacle of the kings and queens of Carnival. And be sure to stay tuned as we turn it all the way up for Dimash Ra. Pure performance, pure pageantry, pure Carnival magic. Then follow the heartbeat of the nation with the parade of the bands on Carnival Monday and Tuesday, when the streets come alive with color, rhythm, and freedom. Live broadcasts, special shows, all the vibes. This Carnival season, don't just watch it, feel it, live it, experience it, right here on TTT.
When it matters, we're there, reporting the news as it happens, because your world can't wait. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Carnival. There's no better place, I cannot erase all these memories we create out of love. Hello from the capital. Yes, we will bring light to the bacchanal. Let me show you the reason we feel it for this kind of feel. Down in the capital now. Pick up the foot and stop it on the ground. Pick up the rag and wave it all around. All the girls them wine and drop it down. So show me everything up in the air, up in the air, up in the air, up in the air, spin it around in the air.
With public safety and national security at the forefront of national discourse, we are this morning joined by Defense Minister Wayne Sturge to talk a little bit about everything happening in national security in Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Mr. Sturge, and thank you for being here with us.
Good morning. It's a pleasure.
So, Mr. Sturge, with the state of emergency coming to an end, and the proposed implementation of the ZOSOs, there is much public interest on how these measures will actually impact crime and national security. So I'd like to begin with the effectiveness of the state of emergency. Minister, how effective has the state of emergency been in curbing gang activities? And based on what you've observed so far, what results do you realistically expect from the implementation of the ZOSOs?
Well, the first part of your question dealing with the efficacy, you have to first understand the purpose of the state of emergency and the use of preventative detention orders was, in essence, to prevent gang leaders from within the prisons and some from outside of the prisons who are in the free world, so to speak, from carrying out ordering assassinations and so on. And I think as much as about 60-70% of our murder rate is related to gang murders. So that you have seen a decline in murders by 42%. You've seen a significant decline in shootings and other types of violent crimes. So that in that regard, it has been effective in reducing violent crime by almost half. The second part of your question, if I recall, deals with what we should expect when the state of emergency ends. Historically, if you look at states of emergencies in across the world, but more particularly in the Caribbean, Jamaica, for instance, when there are states of emergency, you would have, in essence, a period of crime suppression because of the curfews, the cordons, the enhanced powers, and so on. But the minute the state of emergency ends, historically, there's always a resurgence of violence. So that is the purpose of the Zones of Special Operations Bill, to deal with that, what is expected and based on the history. So that we are, as the Attorney General said in the debate last night, we are not going back. We've already had 42% reduction in murders, and that would basically be the barometer. So that we are seeking to further reduce the crime rate, and we have to take into account that not all of these gang leaders would return to the free world. Just a handful. They'll be back out. Some of them we expect may be charged based on the evidence we have. Some of them may not be. But we don't foresee the ones who are within the prison walls being able to do as they've done over the last 10 years, because the Attorney General has taken the novel step of declaring Tetron and Stobels and these places, these bases, as prisons. So although the state of emergency ends, these persons are not going back into the maximum security prison and Golden Grove and these other prisons where they are able to communicate as freely as they did before. So once we are able to limit, or in fact, as far as possible, eliminate their ability to communicate with the outside, then I believe we would see a continued reduction.
So, Minister, speaking of gangs, there's been ongoing concern about foreign criminal elements operating in TNT. Does the Venezuelan gang known as Tren de Aragua still have a presence in this country?
Yes, yes, they do. They've been here for quite some time. I think just before COVID, when the borders had more or less been opened up. So that they have a presence. Venezuela is not very far. If you go to Cedros on a clear day, you can see lights when lights go out in Venezuela. So it's not very far, and it's a few minutes, I think 15, 20 minutes by boat. So they have been here coming and going, and we are trying to weed them out in essence.
So now that you're talking about the borders, let's turn our attention to border security, particularly in Tobago. How effective has the radar system been in intercepting and deterring drug trafficking?
Well, I'm not going to advise you to go on the block and see if you could get some weed or a 5-ball, but one need only ask around. It's very difficult to get drugs. Drugs, mainly marijuana, might be more available because there's the law, in essence, allows for cultivation in homes and so on. But on the streets and the drug blocks and so on, one would readily agree that supply is at an all-time low. Yes. So, and the other thing is, with respect to guns, which is our major concern, most guns, and we've known this for more than 10 years, most guns come into this country, guns and ammunition, through legal ports of entry. So that whilst we are trying to deal with the inflow of guns and drugs, and the radar has been effective, we also have to look at how we properly police our ports. So to answer your question, in short, the radar has been very effective in determining, in detecting and providing very good surveillance, because that particular radar, by itself, that's not how you look at radars, and that's not how radars work. They work with drone technology, and as you're aware, it's in the public space already that there are drones operating in our airspace. And it also works with satellite imagery and so on. So that's not something we had before. So yes, it has been very effective.
So turning attention to the ZOSOS, Minister, in your view, do you expect the ZOSOS to significantly curb the illegal importation of weapons and drug transshipment through our borders?
ZOSO by itself would play a part, but by itself, in isolation, it would not. We don't expect that. Because if it's coming through the ports of legal entry, then there are other initiatives that we are working on so that we can prevent the guns from coming in. A bigger issue, I mean, if you have guns and you have no bullets to fire them, then they are useless. And there's a proliferation of ammunition coming in with the drugs. That's even bigger than the guns. You might get 1 or 2 guns coming in, but you have large caches of ammunition, and that's where we are trying to basically limit or eliminate that from happening.
Minister, a key issue raised by citizens, especially on social media, is the issue of manpower. Are there sufficient law enforcement officers to effectively police and sustain operations during the zones of special operations?
Yes. We've taken all that into account. Now, and let me try to demystify what people think the zones are. You might declare a zone in a particular area. It's not going to be an entire constituency declared as a zone. Because if you declare the entirety of Diego Martin West has Regent's Towers, Ridgewood Towers, they have Goodwood Park, Bayshore, and all of that. And we don't have a serious violent crime or a high incidence of violent crime in those areas. So you'll have pockets in Diego Martin West. You'll have perhaps Rich Plain, Covine, and these places. So the zones would basically target small areas. And because it is targeted, the manpower needed, you don't need the entire army or the entire police service. You need a sufficient amount to establish a cordon. And a cordon would, in essence, prevent persons from leaving, and not persons who are everyday Johns, law-abiding citizens who work ordinary jobs. It is meant to prevent the criminal element from leaving. And that's one of the safeguards of the bill. I see a lot of misinformation being peddled on social media. Scare tactics to make people feel that if you live in the zone, that somehow your rights are deprived of and unlimited. That's not the case, because the arrest, for instance, it's not arbitrary. It's based on reasonable suspicion, and reasonable suspicion that you are engaged in gang activity shootings, robberies, extortion, murders, things like that. So we are targeting a select few persons, and I can say from the outset, the persons we are targeting, we already have data on them. The data is gleaned from a database that the police service has called the Crime and Problem Analysis database. So there's a database in the Crime and Problem Analysis unit, and that database would basically tell us who in the communities are the shooters, who keep guns, and so on. And once you are in a zone and we establish a cordon in a part of the zone and perhaps a curfew if need be, then we go in to that zone and we'll be able to flush out the criminal elements, those who are responsible, those who we are actually targeting, not ordinary citizens.
Minister, with the state of emergency scheduled to end on January 31st, would detainees be released? And if so, are you concerned about a possible spike in crime afterward?
We are prepared for any eventuality. We have to deal with it. That's what we've signed up to, and that's the responsibility of a government to ensure public order and keep citizens safe. So you're asking about whether persons will be charged or released. That's entirely up to the police, and it's based on the evidence they have. Government doesn't get involved in who gets charged and who does not. There's an independent police service, and then as a further check and balance on the police service, there's the independent director of public prosecutions. So he would give advice on which persons there's enough evidence to charge.
Minister, there's been a lot of talk about the ZOSOs in comparison with what's happening in Jamaica and what worked for Jamaica. Has there been any collaboration with Jamaican authorities, particularly regarding, how the ZOSOs can function given their similarities?
Yes, the Minister of Homeland spoke to that in the Parliament on Friday night. So there has been collaboration, but the thing is, we have a lot of experience with those types of operations, ZOSOs. I think as far back as, 2011, thereabouts, when there was a murder in Rich Plain, murder of a member of the Defense Force. So we have, Trinidad and Tobago has, in essence, had informal zones of special operations. I've made reference on Sunday, and I've since seen a document which evidences that the police service, the Joint Army and Police Patrol have in the past, informally, without the cover of law, engaged in those types of operations in Tunapuna, where there were murders daily. And once the operations started, and by the end of it, murders had been virtually non-existent in that zone. I don't know if you recall, there was a group, a gang in Enterprise in Shogunas referred to as Unruly ISIS. When last have you heard of them? ZOSO. It was informally done. The difficulty is that was done without the cover of law, and that was because the proposed bill was taken to cabinet and died there. I heard Al-Rawi say last night that it died elsewhere. That's not true. If you send a proposal to the opposition does not agree, that the sky doesn't fall, as he seemed to suggest last night. You don't say, well, throw your hands up in the air and say, I'm not going to bring it. You have the majority in the parliament, and you can seek to persuade the independent senators to vote for it. So that was a baseless excuse. So the reality is we have had ZOSO in the past, and what we are trying to do now, as I stated on Sunday, is to have ZOSO but under the cover of law, because you can't be asking citizens to obey the law and then you are carrying out operations without the cover of law. You lose your legitimacy and you lose your moral right to govern.
Minister, beyond the ZOSOs, will government introduce any measures aimed at addressing the root causes of crime?
Well, when you deal with root causes of crime, root causes, if you treat with root causes, the results you see in the long term. So that legislation and other initiatives can deal with proximal causes of crime short term. So yes, we are at present looking at other initiatives to deal with the root causes of crime. The benefits of that you'll see probably 10 years down the road. Because the root causes of crime, in essence, would relate to the lack of resources. When you have persons who live in a perpetual state of dependency and poverty, and there's no equality of opportunity in terms of education, then you have persons who they live largely in single-parent households. That by itself is not the cause. But if you live in single-parent households and the mother has to work one place in the morning and the other place in the night, and then the children, when they come home from school, they are being supervised by the block, the gangsters on the block. The people they idolize are the gangsters on the block who have all the bling, all the fancy cars, all the women. So you basically look up to them, you idolize them, you come under their care. They buy sneakers for you, they help you to bling out, if that's the term, and then they own you after that. So, I mean, one hand doesn't clap, one hand slaps. So then if they ask you to return e-favor, then you're indebted to do that. I mean, that's just one example. It's a myriad of factors that would have to be treated to deal with the root causes of crime. So you have to deal with it from a human resource perspective. You have to deal with education. You have to ensure that all of the necessities of life are provided, so that the children, when they go to school, they have a meal. They don't have to guess where the next meal comes from, and so on. So once you take care of your citizens, the social initiatives work, then at that point you'll start to see behavioral change, and you move away from that sort of gang culture.
Minister, with a reported 42% drop in homicides last year compared to 2024, does the government have any targeted objectives for 2026?
Well, definitely. If we can get, it's down 42%, so we are down to about 300 and something. If we can have that to 150 something, then we'll be doing fine. Yes, we are looking, we've set targets, but the thing is, there are some murders you can't prevent. We would like to, and we are putting things in place to prevent the gang-related murders, the home invasion type murders, robberies, murders stemming from robberies, and so on. But a man who wants to kill his wife because she cheated on him, no government can prevent that in the short term. That is the type of thing that you treat with on a behavioral level. So if you want to stop that, you have to basically educate and inculcate values which persons would know that women are not basically objects to be possessed, and so on.
Agreed.
So that you can control people, and you'll understand that a horn is not a horn unless you take it on. As the British say, when you get a horn, you discuss it over a cup of tea.
Minister, moving a bit to Port of Spain now. Port of Spain has seen a decline in commercial activity due to safety concerns. Are there any specific measures that are being planned to restore the capital city as a relatively safe business hub for Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, the premise is not quite correct. Port of Spain's decline is not owing to safety considerations alone. There are other considerations, parking for instance. Then you can shop in relative safely elsewhere, malls and so on. And then most people shop online. So then a lot of these stores in town, they are not patronized as they were before. Times are changing. Even in the United States, there are a number of malls I used to go to. I used to go to a big one in Willow Grove, and that no longer exists. I used to look forward to going to Willow Grove, and it no longer exists because most people shop online. So Port of Spain is no different. It's suffering not because of violent crime alone, but because of a number of other factors.
Minister, on a final note, for how long do you expect the ZOSOs to remain operative? And is this intended to be a temporary or a long-term crime-fighting strategy?
Well, it has to be as long as needed. Now, I saw something last night. When the law is passed, it doesn't have a sunset clause, but there was an interesting perspective from an independent senator last night. I think his name is Drayton. And he had asked, he was saying in essence, he is prepared to support if with the rider that we have a sunset clause. That is something that we can look at. I can't give a guarantee on that. But that is something that we might consider, or should be, some people believe it should be considered, because I'm seeing it on social media where people are saying, maybe we should do that. But if ZOSO works as it is supposed to, then there might not be need for the operations to be carried out much more than 2-3 years. I doubt more than 5 years, because we have to target certain pockets in certain places. And once we, in essence, get rid of the gang leaders and they are locked away for a long time, and once we are able to stop the inflow of guns and ammunition, then you'll see that the violent crime takes a serious nosedive, and there would not be need to have these sorts of intense operations. Normal policing, in essence, would do.
All right, Minister, before we wrap up, with the Carnival season quickly approaching, any words of advice for the public, about national security and safety going forward?
Well, of course, you always have to be aware of your surroundings. If you stay out late and you walk in the streets late, you make yourself a target. You have to always remember that people are looking at you. If you engage in some behaviors, drugs and alcohol, and you abuse it, then you make yourself an easy target. So that one simply has to, I think the better thing is that you move in numbers, you have a designated driver, and we are all each other's keeper or brother's keeper. Once you do that sort of thing, I think you should be safe.
Thank you very much, Defence Minister Wayne Sturge, for joining us this morning on Trinidad and Tobago Today. When we come back, we talk culture, carnival, and sport on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
City 91.1. Thought-provoking conversations, bold perspectives, voices you trust. Talk City 91.1 is launching bigger, bolder, and more powerful than ever before.
Yes, Talk City 91.1 FM.
A brand new era of talk radio is here. With voices you know, trust, and respect. Get ready for an all-new lineup of the very best in talk. Andy Williams, Lennox Smith, Stephen Reese, Mr. X, Derek Charbodi, Roland Stewart, Sharon Farfan, Sudath Prasad, Heavy Duty, Alex Asing, Karen Francisco, Cherry-Leen Lewis, Short Pants, and more of the voices shaping the national conversation. From hard-hitting current affairs to real community issues, culture, politics, social development, and the stories that matter most to you. This is where Trinidad and Tobago comes to talk.
So I'll go right to on Talk City 91.1, where we're going to give you something new, something hot every day, Monday to Friday.
Listen on 91.1 FM and connect on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. New shows, new features, big giveaways. Talk City 91.1, your city, your voice.
come try me. Yeah. If you feel it's jolting, baby, I'll back it up. You think you can know me? Try me, come try me. You all what I get in is make we bonje papa so, we bonje papa so. Listen. I tell you, everyday stress. I cannot take it, baby, next. Oh, boom. I hope you find someone else. I really hope you do. I hope you find someone.
Tune in for CZIT's National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz. Brought to you by Fruta.
The time now on a beautiful Wednesday morning, 7:35 a.m. Well, Carnival isn't just about music and mass, you know. It's a powerful expression of fashion, creativity, and identity. This Sunday, the National Carnival Commission presents the second edition of Carnival is Fashion 2, a free fashion showcase celebrating our legendary costuming and exhibitionist flair. So joining us now on set is the creative director of the show, Richard Young, the visionary behind this vibrant production. Welcome to the show, Richard. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
So Richard, this is the second year of Carnival is Fashion 2. What inspired this concept and why was it so important to bring fashion into the Carnival conversation?
Well, I think fashion is part of the Carnival conversation because costuming is fashioning. And I've been kind of pitching this for years, over 30 years actually. So I will say that because of the new vision coming out of the NCC under Keyword Jacob Motley, we were able to have a nice convergence of thought, and that's why we're having it, because I've been pitching it for a while, and being able to use the iconic Savannah stage has been a dream, you know, because I feel that in a layperson sense, sometimes people don't go there, they don't see it, and now I'm telling you, you can sit on it and enjoy it. So what we are bringing to the international arena is a new way of showcasing style. You know, in our Carnival hallmark space, last year it was absolutely exhilarating. Sitting in the sunset, it was like a painting, and the breeze wafting across the Savannah stage, and a packed audience, all themselves decked to capacity. And so it was beautiful to see it happen, and I'm glad we are able to do it again because I just think it's a continuation of our exhibitionism, you know, and Carnival inspires people more so now to go out dressed up. Because in the past, Carnival was sneakers and short pants and you go to have a jump up. But now you go out to those all-inclusive of events and all things. People are styled to capacity. So it's what I call festival style. And so I have harnessed a group of creatives and imagers to come and showcase this Carnival style. So that's what we're going to have on the 25th.
So speaking of that group, the show also features collections from leading local fashion houses. What was your selection process like, and what qualities were you looking for in the designers for this year?
Well, I think it continues from last year. We selected people who add something to the template, people who have some kind of longevity in the business, who have been working in the business for a while and contributing something idiosyncratic and not just being bandwagonists instead. They're not just making clothes, they're making statement pieces. So last year we had a wonderful group of pioneers because they were the first. Some of them are still in this year's show, but I've added a little to it. We added Lost Tribe because they always work on where Carnival and style converge. So Lost Tribe is going to be added. And there are some stalwart names like The Cloth and Zaran Eastman and Diane Hunt, and we have extended it through the region, through the country. So there's a Canupia-based designer in the show, there is a Tobago designer in the show, there is Point Forte designer in the show, so it's not localized to Port of Spain designers. So we have made the outreach wider and made sure each one of them contributes a certain element of the style. That is the mosaic that Trinidad Caribbean style is, you know.
Richard, Audiences will see a mix of fete wear. I believe there's also Monday wear and show off wear.
Yeah.
Why was it important to include these different style categories, and what exactly is show off wear?
Well, it's part of what Carnival is. We are the most exhibitionistic people in the region, and that's why we have Carnival. And so people are going to be able to come out there and stand out, you know, and so people come to the show to be seen as well. They get an opportunity to exhibit their own personal style, and also to represent the plethora of designers that we have. So it's almost like a who is who dressing who is who that comes to this space, and that is what I like about it. When you see their rivals coming into the space, getting a cocktail drink and going to have their seat, it is that by itself is a show. And I encourage that for all of the persons in the country to come and see and witness. Also, the Carnival Monday way has become a new element of Carnival, so that itself is going to be shown, which is a kind of provocative, sexy kind of clothes, but we are doing it in moderation. And they're also going to be Carnival characters infused to keep the element of traditional mass as it moves towards the evolution of the modern day mass. So all of that is inside of there.
Richard, last year's debut in 2025 really wowed the audience. What new elements or even surprises that you can let out of the bag can we expect this time around?
Well, there are the set design. I've designed the set totally differently. Last year we used a horseshoe formation. This year it's using most of the stage. So it's going to include, the audience are not going to be attendees, they're like participants, because they'll be seated all in between the show. So the show is going to integrate the audience as part of the showing off, as it were. We have powerful soca artists who are adding to the flavor, because last year we had Shal Marshall was our feature headliner, but this time we're having Nyla Blackman, we're having Patrice Roberts, and we're having Nadia Batson. So I think those elements are adding to it, and there is a surprise designer, I think, that is going to be coming into the country to show off, and I'm keeping that as a surprise, so you just need to come. It's free, so you need to come early and just have a good seat, you know.
So Richard, as creative director, what has been your biggest challenge in pulling together this production?
Well, first of all, convincing the powers that be that it is relevant. And I think I got a win in to the ear of the CEO, and so therefore we are continuing the process and being able to coordinate all the elements. There's hair, makeup, there are screens that are going up that have to have content on it. There are about 75 models, you know, and to get all of that done, we have to have a whole great production management team, a team working in the backstage and wardrobe management, stage management. And so we have meetings all the time. Thank God for the virtual access. We are able to keep in touch all the time. So I think it's going to be a good thing. And what it is that I only have one day to do it, when all of it has to be done, pre-done, to land on that day. That's one of the freest days, I think, in the Carnival season. So that's why we got that day. And to use that stage expediently, it means really going there, putting in the work on the day and getting it done. So that's the challenge, but that's also the excitement.
Richard, this is being described as a first of its kind event hosted by the NCC, right? Mm-hmm. How does this show, in your opinion, raise the bar for both the carnival and fashion industries together? Because
it puts fashion in a particular space that I think sometimes it doesn't get access to. It kind of brings it into a ubiquitous space, you know, because Carnival sometimes stays in little, not Carnival, fashion stays in little silos. So integrating it in the Carnival pantheon, as it were, it is making it really, really accessible, and it brings buying local into a space, because I think the government is also pushing that buy local agenda. So I think that is one of the wonderful things, that you know that there is a range of fashion right here, a range of well-made, creatively excellent products being done by our local designers that sometimes they don't get access to. So being on a stage as iconic as the Carnival stage, that is what is pioneering, and it has not been done anywhere else in the region, I can assure you. And it's almost like a Guinness World Book of Records statement to infuse it in the Carnival using the soca music. This year I'm paying tributes to the road marches, you know. So it's going to be paying tribute to the road marches, and it's going to, the runway is going to be like a road, and you're going to be sitting on the side of the road looking on at the parade of our fashion, you know. So I am very excited about those elements.
That sounds poetic and profound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Richard Young. Don't forget, tell them again the details of this event. It's taking place on Sunday, 25th.
Sunday, 25th. It begins at 5 o'clock on the dot. We must start at 5. I want to catch the sunset, and there are 12 designers in the showcase, and it's free seating. Of course, we have specially invited guests, but you need to get there as early as possible and get your best seat.
And admission is absolutely
free.
Thank you, Richard Young, Creative Director. Carnival is fashion too. When we come back, we're joined by Sportswoman of the Year, Tennille Campbell, on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
There's no better place, I cannot erase all these memories we create on the love. Hello from the capital, yes, we will bring light to the bacchanal. Let me show you the reason we feel it, for this kind of feel down in the capital now. Pick up the foot and stop it on the ground. Take out the rag and wave it all around. All the girls, they whine and drop it down. So show me everything up in the air.
Carnival is more than a season. It's who we are. It's rhythm, color, history, and pure vibes from start to finish. And this Carnival TTT, in partnership with the National Carnival Commission, is bringing you all the major moments live and full of energy. We kick things off with the youths of Steel at Junior Panorama. Then it's Pan Power all the way at Panorama, where the music hits hard and the passion runs dry. Celebrate the future of Calypso at the Junior Calypso Monarch and witness the lyrical mastery at Calypso Fiesta. Then step back into history with the reenactment of the Cambile riots. Don't miss the creativity and spectacle of the kings and queens of Carnival. And be sure to stay tuned as we turn it all the way up for the March Gras. Pure performance, pure pageantry, pure Carnival magic. Then follow the heartbeat of the nation with the parade of the bands on Carnival Monday and Tuesday, when the streets come alive with color, rhythm, and freedom. Live broadcasts, special shows, all the vibes. This Carnival season, don't just watch it, feel it, live it, experience it, right here on TTT.
We culture, we stories, we movies. This Saturday on TTT, it's our voices, our lives on our screens. At 8:35 p.m., Trinidad Remains takes you on a rough journey home. Family tension, hard truths, and a road trip that doesn't go as planned. Then at 8:50 p.m., Basity turns up the heat. Love, desire, and carnival energy colliding like a slow wine when the rhythm hits just right. These aren't borrowed stories. This is our culture, our experiences. Trinidad Remains 8:35 p.m. and Basity 8:50 p.m. this Saturday on TTT. We culture, we stories, we movies. Only on TTT.
You take away anxiety. What you need right now? What? I'm telling you, we all need love. Jump up and show me love. Hey, how we jumping up is how we walking up is how we jumping up is how we put your hands in the air. You won't be position, stop the carrying you. I play a little. Once you my company and we gonna be walking on the road, walking on the road, walking on the road.
I will never ever change. Tell them I'm happy place. Hey, right now we say happy place. I say ever. Right now we in the happy place. Upstairs, wave. Everybody, tell them. Hey, hey, boy. Everybody wave. Do me a favor, don't tell me about behavior. Do me a favor. I tell you don't push me and no chill now. Oh Lord, celebrating life when I wake up in the morning. I tell you and if you that's why I live in for tonight. Hey.
Or 22, I believe, when I gave that speech at TTUC Awards. I was at one of my lowest points, but I did make a statement that I will rise above and be back at my best. So to be able to achieve the results I did this year, I know I'm on the path, and I know that path will lead me to LA 2028. And my goal, hope, and dreams is to bring home that medal for Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago continues to shine on the international sporting stage. And today, we're celebrating one of our brightest stars. Cyclist Tennille Campbell was recently named First Citizens Sportswoman of the Year 2025 at the prestigious Legacy Takes Flight Awards and the 2026 Hall of Fame induction ceremony held at the Lord Kitchener Auditorium in Napa. Tennille earned this honor after an incredible comeback season, returning from an injury to claim the women's points race gold and elimination race bronze at the Pan American Track Championships. She also shared her bold ambition to become the first female Trinidad and Tobago cyclist to medal at the Olympic Games. Tennille, congratulations and welcome to the show this morning.
Thank you.
So Tennille, you were just named Sportswoman of the Year. That is a huge national honor. Congrats. And how did you feel when you received the award?
First and foremost, good morning, everyone. For me personally, when I win this award, it's always a great honor because my mom also shared this award with me. She was previously Sportswoman of the Year back in her times, but bringing it back to me, after such a difficult 2023 and 2024 season, coming back from like 2 major injuries and, taking it step by step and progressively returning to my best, it meant a lot to me. And so this upcoming season, it would be really great to, keep that momentum going and heading straight into LA 2028.
So Tennille, you've publicly said that your goal is to become the first Trinidad and Tobago female cyclist to medal at the Olympics. Where does that dream come from, and how hard have you been working to make this a reality?
I think every athlete's dream is to be an Olympic medalist / an Olympic champion. It's one of the most watched sport worldwide, globally. And I think, being a woman in sport, and for us here, never having a female medal, someone needs to, to accomplish it. So everyone will have something to always chase. And I think it starts there for me, and even if it's not me seeing another woman from Trinidad and Tobago accomplish that, it would be a great push for other female upcoming women in these sports to strive for excellence and to always keep pushing themselves beyond limits to achieve what sometimes people think is impossible.
Tennille, as a female athlete, what unique challenges have you faced in sport, especially in a discipline like cycling?
Well, for me, it's always a great sacrifice living and racing in Europe. I'm always away from home, away from family, away from my culture. And in Europe, it's very difficult to find my culture, especially where I'm based. So it's always a matter of trying to fit in while also trying to be yourself. And at times, if you don't surround yourself with the right people, you can lose yourself in the process. And it's not an easy journey being so far away from home and from your people. People think the grass is always greener, but it's actually a lot of sacrifice international athletes put to be number one or to, be medalists or performing on the highest stage in the world.
And Tennille, before we wrap up, a short message to young girls who may look up to you now and they want to pursue sports so they feel discouraged or overlooked. What do you say to them?
Well, once you have a dream and a great desire, I think you should never lose sight of that. Earlier in my days, people used to think I was pretty crazy for, saying out my goals bold because, it was never done and accomplished before. I've been the first to do many things and, that's always me creating a path or breaking a barrier for the rest of riders and even athletes outside of cycling to follow. And I think, once you have a dream, always chase it. I mean, it's there for a reason. Everyone's path is different, so you shouldn't even try to be following someone because your journey will always be unique. So continue being you, never change, and keep aiming for the highest.
And Tennille, finally, how do you want to be remembered, not just as an athlete, but as a woman, as a role model?
Me, I want to be remembered as an athlete that, open doors for others. It should never always be about myself. I mean, of course, it's important to prioritize yourself and so forth, but I think it's also important to give back. So if I can leave a legacy behind in the sense that my journey enable others to pursue their dreams, that will be a fulfilling moment for me. Having my own foundation in the future, something like this is a great desire as well. I mean, helping and giving back is kind of something in my DNA. And to just see Trinidad and Tobago rise above all challenges, because I know how difficult it is to be a local athlete. That would be like something amazing to see.
All right. Thank you so much, Tennille Campbell, and congratulations, First Citizen Sportswoman of the Year 2025. Well, that's a wrap for Trinidad and Tobago today on a great Wednesday, 21st January. What an amazing show. Thank you so much for always being here. To those of you streaming us live on Facebook and YouTube, we are so grateful. Remember, you can send us all the information that you have for us via our social media channels. Tomorrow, another jam-packed show for you. Thanks for joining us on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Next, 99.1 FM, Soca Dominion, where Soca lives.
Give me a chance to wine on you, so I can wave with you, and I can jam with you. Give me another chance so I can...
Come try me, if you feel it's jolting, baby, I'll back it up. You think you can own me? Try me, come try me. You all what I get in is make we bungee papa so, we bungee papa so. I tell you, everyday stress, I cannot take it, baby, next. Oh, boom. I hope you find someone else. I really hope you do. I hope you find someone.
You take away anxiety. What you need right now? What? I'm telling you now, we all need love. Jump up and show me love. Hey, how do we jump? Jumping up is how do we walk? Walking up is how do we? Jumping up is how do we? Put your hands in the air. See who the position. Stop flickering you. I play a little. What's you my company and we gonna be walking road, walking on the road, walking on the road.
One of the things that I like about pediatrics is that it's never just about the child, it's also about family, extracurricular activities, sports, school, all of those things we get involved in. I think one of the nice things is also that it's about empowering families, or giving them the knowledge that they need. It's actually about forming a community of people who support each other. We're in this parenting journey together.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical on TDT this Wednesday at 6:20 p.m.
Good morning. This is your TTT News update at 8. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says her government is open to legislation regulating social media use for children under 12, but stressed that any blanket ban on adults would infringe on freedom of speech. Responding to Archbishop Charles Jason Gordon's call to protect children online, she acknowledged the real dangers social media poses, including exposure to harmful content, exploitation, bullying, and harassment. The Prime Minister indicated that the government is open to exploring legislation specifically aimed at regulating social media use for children under the age of 12, noting that such measures are not without precedent. She pointed out that governments around the world are already examining and implementing policies to protect children in what she describes as an increasingly hostile digital environment. She also highlighted the challenges private citizens face defending against online abuse, even as courts recognize the harm caused by false or malicious information. The Prime Minister urged parents to remain vigilant, monitor their children's devices, and provide guidance, emphasizing that responsible parenting remains the most effective safeguard in a digital age. A fire broke out at Guardian Building on St. Vincent Street at around 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Multiple fire appliances from the Ryson Road station, along with the ambulance and police, were all on the scene shortly after. Later, a WhatsApp message, which was forwarded from the head of news at Guardian, noted that a light bulb blew on the second floor, which started a small fire, which triggered a fire alarm. The head said they evacuated, and the arrival of fire services blocked off the street, making the situation look worse than it was. Within about half an hour, the building was declared safe, with the fire contained to the room where it originated. No injuries were reported. In some sport, head coach of the Trinidad and Tobago under-20 men's football team, Marvin Gordon, said that while he is pleased with TNT's 6-0 victory over St. Vincent and the Grenadines, there's still room for improvement. TNT is taking in a series of friendly matches in their preparation for the CONCACAF under-20 World Cup qualifiers set to begin on February 23rd.
I'm going to say 60% today. You know, I think we still have 40% to go. I think I hold in this group to a high standard, you know, and I was pleased with the ball movement today at times, and then at times I wasn't pleased because I thought we move it a little slow at times and I want to play a little quicker, you know what I mean, to get in behind and create chances. So I say today was 60% really for me, and we still have 40 to go.
Gordon also confirmed that Darrell Garcia, captain on the night, will lead the team at the CONCACAF Under-20 World Cup qualifiers.
Darrell deserves it, you know, he made it debut for the national senior team. I think he deserves to lead this group. You know what I mean? Put the responsibility on his shoulders, let him work. And you see it tonight, you see the leadership quality. You want to play, you want to lead the group, you know, so I think he deserves it.
And that was your TTT News Report. I am Carrie Roberts. Have a great day.
This is TTT. Live for local.
A new year of fun and excitement has arrived, and diving headfirst into the action is simply how we roll here at Caribbean Passport TV. Hello everyone, I'm Tamara Williams. sports, colorful designs, and some truly super travel agents. We have it all on today's episode, so strap in and prepare for a ride filled with thrills at every turn. The tourist destinations that make up the Caribbean are anticipating another round of success over the next 12 months. Much of this windfall has been due to the efforts of global travel agents who have promoted countries such as Antigua and Barbuda